Hello, welcome to The Strange Take. How's it going out there, everybody? So, today is a day off for me, so I thought I'd sit down and relax for a while and enjoy some time to myself. Just this morning, I take my truck into the mechanic shop. Power steering hose blew again. I guess the third time in 3 years or 2 years. Either way, I'm very happy with that. But on a brighter note, the kind of things that people do, when you work all the time and you deal with people all the time, and then when you get some time to yourself, for those who have family, you come home, you're a husband, you're a dad, or a mom, or whatever nowadays, right? I mean, I don't know all the terms, so I don't want to be offensive to anybody. But we all got red blood, right? If you got green blood, then it could be a bad YouTube video. Anyways, so we're discussing things that are going on in the world and sharing our thoughts, and that's kind of what this show's about. It's called The Strange Take, and the reason this podcast goes by that kind of title is because a lot of times growing up my whole life, when I've had my take on something, when I've put my opinions in, why would you think that, or oh my god, or something. It's like, well, what do you mean? Like, maybe I was a little too fantasy, watched too much Star Wars movies and stuff growing up, and Battlestar Galactica, Transformers and all that. Yeah, I'm a real genre guy, and I can see, here we go, let's get into our first topic of the day on Strange Take. We take a look at where we grew up from and what the movie industry is projecting to now, right? And they're trying to hit us with nostalgia, but in this modern world, what they're doing is they're taking nostalgic shows, so Ghostbusters and now Star Wars, and coming up with Marvel big time, is female base of lead actresses, and I think it's great, but I think you got to remember too, when you're stretching out to the women who grew up from the the 80s experience, right? I mean, the age of the toys. It really was. It was the age of, I gotta have that. Oh my gosh, my neighbors or kids at school got that toy. I want it so bad. For me, it was like Transformers. For my sister, it was My Little Ponies. My Little Ponies, and there was Care Bears and Cabbage Patch Dolls, and all kinds of cool toys, right? We wanted them all. G.I. Joe, and of course the exquisite for the boys, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Down the road there were shows like Mask. I don't know if everybody remembers Mask. It's probably like one of those old shows like Littlest Hobo or Airwolf. Show people are like, huh, what? And of course that's why it's a strange take. It's always the cool stuff everybody forgot about, right? And so anyways, but those were good memories and good times, and that's what Hollywood reaches out for to us now, and then hoping that our kids will see the excitement of that era. But see, the problem is they're not making the toys like they used to in that era. Nowadays, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm a sexist guy. My wife would beat the crap out of me in a second if she thought I was being, nasty with my attitude towards equality. But, I gotta take my son to the toy store. Well, not anymore. He's getting older now, right? He's not so much into toys. If we go to the toy store, so we're looking for the collector stuff to put on the collector wall, right? But, when he was younger, Star Wars came out. We went down to the Star Wars store, and he wanted the Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren was so cool. Everybody's talking about Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren and his cool sword. He had the two little jet streams coming out the sides, or two little mini sabers. Good little. I think they end up in the movie cutting someone's face with it or something. Anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, so these 80s toys, this experience, they bring it to capture us, right? To take our kids and our teens and get them excited about these things. But see, when we were kids, it was okay to play with toys like when you were like 12, maybe 13, and you'd hear some parents going, oh, he still plays with toys, you know? But it was still cool. Nowadays, it's like, oh, he's 10, he's playing with toys. Oh, he's 10 years old and playing with toys. My kid plays with his tablet. You know, and now kids, they don't have action figures anymore. It's, you know, we'll get back to the 80s toys in a second, but, you know, a good change in the era is our kids nowadays, they play Fortnite or Warzone on the PlayStation or Nintendo or the Switch or the PC or the Xbox series, right? And some of the new ones that people have too, mobile. But, you know, they buy these skins. It's called skins, and that's where you buy your character, your avatar character. We call it avatars. So that's like when we were kids, your mom would say, "Turn the videos off," and it's like, it's not videos, it's video games. Right? You sound so nerdy when you say, "Turn off the videos." I don't know, maybe other parents were way cooler. My mom used to say, "Turn off the videos." Anyways, so, you know, it's a lot different the way that they have toys nowadays to when we were young. And now back to the 80s. You know, we had the cool action figures. And then you would lay them all out, and then some kids did not even play with all these toys. Like, I remember I'd go to a kid's house, they had all this stuff. This one kid, well, actually, not one kid, my cousin, God bless him, I love him too. I go to his house, man, and I think he had like this, if I remember right, the aircraft carrier for G.I. Joe, and it like filled half of this room. And I was like, oh my God, he always had the coolest toys. I went to his house, and it was like, oh my God, I'm actually going to get to touch the toys that I look at in packages, in the flyers at home at the dinner table, right? So I used to love going to my cousin's house when I was young. It was like going to this castle, that beautiful house, and you know, he was so nice, and he'd let me play with his toys and play video games with him, and he was always a really loving guy too. You know, it's real lucky to have a cousin like that. And then of course my other cousin too. I had two cousins, but I love them both. But Wade, I'll have to rewind on that one. But anyways, dropping names, lesson learned. So, it's a little time to edit there. So back to the 80s toys. Yeah, so, you know, I mean, toys were cool, right? But I mean, we're just always talking about, I'd take my son to the store, and it was like, to get back to the 80 toys in comparison to nowadays. You know, I'd take my son down during the first, you know, releases of the Star Wars movies, and it was always like, he wanted the Kylo Ren, he wanted him so bad. We go down to the store, and there's Princess Leia and Queen Arquetta or something, and I don't mean to sound rude, as my wife break my back, right? But, you know, it was just all female figures and things, and then it was like dollies and stuff, and I was like, well, the dollies are cool for girls and stuff. You know, I don't really remember girls playing with action figures. Maybe they do nowadays, I don't know, like, you know, I had two stepdaughters, and they were into, like, Pet Shop, these, like, little Pet Shop Polly Pockets and Pet Shop Pockets. There's millions of, like, little tiny animals all over the floor, and you'd step on them, and they fucking hurt so bad. But anyways, thoughts being thoughts, right? Yeah, you know, so there was like Polly Pockets, and before that, you know, it was My Little Ponies, Barbie, you know, but Barbie was so huge. I mean, for some girls, I mean, the girls that like you see nowadays, and I don't know nowadays, right? I mean, the girls they don't pick it up off Barbie. They're like, you're getting YouTube now, TikTok, Snapchat. They're like fucking makeup artists. Most girls right now that are 25 or younger could just be a professional makeup artist. I mean, when you're walking through the mall and you see all these, like, you know, kids, like even my stepdaughters, like they just had all this makeup on, and they did it like professional. Like when I was a kid, you go to school and a girl would wear makeup, and you'd be like, oh, and that's why, like, growing up, it was so cool with the hair bands, because then girls could do shitty makeup and get away with it, right? You know, you just, oh, look at all the orange on her eyes. What color looks pretty? And just like, you know, we had no idea of what was hot in fashion. Like nowadays, everything's yoga pants, like they're pretty much naked, you know, compared to what we had when we were kids. It was tight Jordache jeans and shit like that. And then it was baggy tube skirts for girls. But I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But nowadays, yeah, everybody's a fashion supermodel. So anyways, we'll be all the way back. We're in Toys R Us. Yeah, we cruise around. That's why it's a strange take. You're going to have a strange fucking mind. Just keep up with my scattered combo. But, we try to keep the show at a certain amount of time. We just share some thoughts. We ramble around. So this is a testing. So, we're going to try to be a little more organized. I've been told, reading about, starting up your own podcast, that you should, gather your thoughts. But sometimes it's saying them, they come out more honest. When you're gathered and you sound like that, like I'm up in Canada, so we hear we hear like this on the radio, and there's this one news announcer, and I don't want to say their name in case they take my trying to copy their voice, copycat them. I don't want them to think I was being rude, but it's like the way they talk. It reminds me of this guy on YouTube called Chills, and it's like they got this monotone voice, and I could try doing it, but I'm not so good at it. But it's like, let's find something to read here. Blah 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 blah. Here, I got this. Okay, this is a Walmart protection guide, but I'm gonna try to read it like these people do. When the unexpected happens, we've got you covered. 2 and 3 year plans available, starting just at $3. And no, that's probably not very good because they got a little more structured sentences than that. You're probably wondering, what the fuck am I listening to? That guy trying to read me at Walmart. Oh shit. Well, we're running out of time. I got all these things to say, so yeah, maybe we'll pull it together better next time. But anyways, yeah, we'll definitely get back into a better, more structured conversation about the 80s toys. Till then, everybody, you guys take care. This is a strange take. And don't forget to subscribe to my podcast and listen in.